Can Trump manufacturing shutdown in Asia? Are you believe?
Donald Trump, known for his America First policy, has long urged Apple to shift its iPhone production from Asia to the United States. He argues that this move will create American jobs and reduce reliance on foreign manufacturing. Trump's vision is clear. He wants to see iPhones stamped with Made in America. This push has intensified in his current term, with public calls for Apple CEO Tim Cook to prioritize U.S. manufacturing. Trump's administration has imposed significant tariffs on goods imported from China, India, and Vietnam. These tariffs, he believes, will make it less profitable for companies like Apple to manufacture overseas and encourage them to bring production back to American soil. However, this strategy has been met with mixed reactions. Critics argue that tariffs ultimately hurt American consumers, who end up paying higher prices for goods. The tariffs imposed by the Trump administration are substantial. Chinese imports face a hefty 145% tariff, while Indian and Vietnamese imports are subject to 26% and 46% tariffs, respectively. These tariffs are designed to make it financially unattractive for Apple to continue its current manufacturing model, which relies heavily on these Asian countries. The goal is to incentivize Apple to invest in building manufacturing facilities within the United States. However, the reality is more complex. While tariffs do increase the cost of importing goods from these countries, they also have unintended consequences. Firstly, they can lead to higher prices for American consumers as companies like Apple pass on the increased costs. Secondly, tariffs can disrupt global supply chains, leading to shortages and delays. Apple, caught in the crossfire of this trade war, is attempting to strike a delicate balance. On the one hand, the company wants to appease the Trump administration and avoid further tariffs. On the other hand, it must also consider its bottom line and the need to manufacture iPhones cost-effectively. This has led Apple to adopt a diversification strategy. While China remains Apple's primary manufacturing hub, the company has been gradually increasing production in India. India offers several advantages, including lower labor costs and a large pool of skilled workers. Moreover, shifting some production to India helps Apple mitigate the geopolitical risks associated with over-reliance on China. However, even with this diversification, shifting all iPhone production to the US remains impractical. Experts agree that moving all iPhone production to the United States is simply not feasible in the near future. The US lacks the vast and well-established electronics manufacturing ecosystem that China has built over decades. Building such an ecosystem from scratch would require massive investments and years of effort. Moreover, labor costs in the US are significantly higher than in Asia, which would make American-made iPhones prohibitively expensive. Estimates suggest that manufacturing iPhones entirely in the US could triple their prices, potentially pushing them beyond the reach of average consumers. This would have a significant impact on Apple's sales and market share. Therefore, while Apple is investing in some US manufacturing, it is likely to maintain a globally diversified supply chain for the foreseeable future.